Hello good people, Suzie Yule Diadem, living positively regardless. Doesn't matter the point at which you are in life, but we roll positivity all the way. That statement simply means that life can present you with something that is not allowing you to be positive. For example, when you are sick, you've gone to the hospital, you've received treatment and you're not getting well. And I want to tell you to be positive about it, that though you're not feeling well, there is the positive side of it. That at least you are at a doctor's medication, at a doctor's care, and you will get treated. That at least you know God and He's able to heal you. What I mean with that statement is ignoring the negative side of any situation that is in your life and holding on to the only positive thing that you have. I will not waste a lot of time, but I'll just go right into today's discussions. I've had guests before, we've discussed things before, and today we've agreed with you guys that one of the things that we get to heal, even from some of our pains, is through our sharing, through our talking. Talking is therapeutic. That one I know you and me have agreed. And then also, as we share our pains, there's people who get inspired by our pains, because sometimes, and that's why I say we like sharing our stories when we have, we may not be completely healed, but when we are somewhere, at least we can tell somebody, I was there and the Lord took me through it. So you are here today, it's painful for you today, but there is a tomorrow. That is it about today's show. Before we go far from that, let me introduce you to our guest, resident guest. How are you?
I'm good, honey.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Feeling good, you know.
You said you are?
I'm a resident guest.
A resident guest.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you say something?
And so I'm happy being here, doing these things that you love doing, and I thank God for this opportunity. Yes.
Wow. We've given other people opportunity to feel the therapeutic side of sharing their painful past. Yes. Today I'm giving my own fresh. An opportunity to share his own story and his own pains.
Yes.
Who are you?
Viewers, by now, as I said, I'm a resident guest to Suzie Yule Diadem channel, and my name is Alex Mushiri Cendi. I love the Lord Jesus. I'm saved. He's been a good Lord in my life. If it were not Him, I would not be where I am today. As I've said before, I come from Kirinyaga County, Gishogo, now Kirinyaga East Sub-County. I am a pastor with Anglican Church of Kenya, who have served in ACK Kirinyaga Diocese for many years. And God has been my Ebenezer this far. He has brought me, and I thank God for what He is in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
You encouraged me to start my introductions by letting my name kuandika number with big numbers.
Yes.
To write your testimony with big numbers, that I'm born again. Hey, something beautiful is running there. That I'm born again. I love Christ as my personal savior. Did you have to? And so yes. So today, guys, we shall be discussing about Alex's late wife and his life with her and what happened. He'll just be sharing with us about that. And I thank God for this opportunity. And I thank God because you sharing this is also a show that you're healing and you're making steps.
Yes,
right. So now, since we are talking about your marriage with your ex-wife. I want us to start
Late wife.
Your late wife.
Yes.
Yes, sorry, your late wife. I want to start just before there. What kind of a man were you before you got married? When you were looking for a woman, what were you looking in then? And what kind of a young man were you?
Yeah, honey, the kind of a person I was as a young person, I was very careful on issues of relationship. And this was informed by my the kind of those who have my story now. It was very fragile, so I was very careful and don't misbehave in any manner, and then obstruct myself for what I want to be in the future. And so I was very, very careful. I could see the men mishandling women, getting them pregnant, and then they let them go with suffering innocent children. And in my life, I said I would never want to put any person in that kind of a situation where I've messed with a woman. She's gotten pregnant of me, and in fact, my my conviction was, should I do that and find a woman, that girl is pregnant of me and is having my child, I'll marry her, either I love her or not, because I will not want to see anybody to go through suffering because of me. And also my fragile life now. I knew living with foster parents, if I started misbehaving, then I will lose balance and not be what I wanted to be. The other thing is that having known the Lord Jesus at a very young age, I had the spiritual discipline to maintain. So those are the things that guided my life. And therefore, I kept safe distance between myself. This does not mean I was not interacting with them, but I made sure I maintained what we call safe distance until then when I'm ready to have a woman whom I can interact with, and then we get married and start doing life together. So that was me. You asked me what kind of a person I wanted as a wife, even then, because still I had my own condition of the kind of a person I would want as a wife. And then, of course, I wanted a good, God-fearing person, a person who is mature, who is responsible, a person who is going to partner with me, not subordinate to me, a person who can do things at the same level, that I can handle her things, she can handle my things, without feeling subordinated. A person who is my friend, a person I feel we are compatible, that she would join me in my dreams, and also I'm able to join her in my dreams. Of course, being a Christian and a saved person, also being another person who also loves the Lord as a personal savior. So those are the things that I was looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
One day, I will want you to tell us how you were able, you say you're keeping safe distance.
Yes.
I want to know, Kama, for real, you didn't, because today we are not going on that line.
Yes.
You didn't date that one, ukaacha that one, or they didn't come to you. You're saying you want to keep safe distance, but them they don't want to keep distance, safe distance. You know, when you're telling they used to live pure till married, it look like a cliche, like it's you were saying it because you're married, so hatutakuona huko nje, but they forget you were once not married. So we have also
I was once a youth like them.
Like them, right?
Yeah.
And I like it the way you're saying you didn't want to make anyone pregnant and leave them out. Are you saying on public? camera
Yeah.
that you have no child
Mm-hmm.
out there,
Mm-hmm.
how will you?
I want to say before this camera that I do not have a child outside there except my 3 children, Mary, Philip, and Tabitha, and the 6 grandchildren.
And that God, those ones are not out there.
Yeah.
Those ones are
In here.
yes. Those are not.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, so you already knew what you wanted
Yes,
for
yes,
a wife.
yes.
How did you meet your late wife?
My wife, my lovely late wife, Joyce Butito Cendi, came from Embu. I come from Kirinyaga. And we met in the theological college where both of us were training to be pastors in the Anglican Church of Kenya. But you can see now we come from 2 different ethnic groupings, because now Embu and Kirinyaga, we are 2 different people. Although we speak the same language but with a different dialect, the language is the same. And it happened that honey, my late wife and I think we didn't have many things in common. She was outgoing. Me, I wasn't. I'm a person who really wanted to concentrate with my studies in the college. She's a person who wants to go out there and spend out weekends with friends. Me, I wasn't doing those things. I'm the kind of a person who just want to remain and eat books. That was me. The nearest thing got close to me is when she went for, she came for what you call pastoral practice. We call it block placement in my home church at Ngiriambu. And so when she came there, she was interacting with my parents, and me, I went elsewhere. And so having come to my home place, then we went to, how was it at our home? But even that, although it made us develop some communication, I don't know why, the more I wanted communication with her, the more she detested me. Could just tell me anything, to the extent many people who are our friends in the college would warn her and tell her, Joyce, please don't be talking to this man like this. Who knows? And then she would tell them, who knows what?
Because you had started drawing to Mystery, but she's not into it.
Not in that direction in any way.
Or try to get close.
No, just like, because you have come and you have done a ministry in my home church.
Okay.
That was it. It's not really so much that I wanted her in my life. So, as I said, I interacted with ladies, but and my lines, I maintained safe distance. That was it. And so that was our life. I remember one day, as I said, she was outgoing. This one day I remember, she came, it was on a weekend. Me, I was there doing reading, spending my time with my books. And she came and told me, what kind of a man you are? You, even when you want to get a wife to marry, probably it is the East Africa revival brethren who will get you a wife. You know, the revival movement, who make special arrangements for members of the fellowship to get married. So it's like I cannot express myself unless I will be assisted. And I felt bad, that really put me down emotionally, and kwani ananiona nini? and why it is me she want to throw wants to. And even that made me keep a bigger distance from her. But then you asked me how we met. But then because of what I was in school, many students depended on me.
Wow.
You find every evening I have a circle of students who want my help so that they can understand certain theological concepts that they have not been able to understand on doing an assignment, and they may want me to at least give them an aid. And I think she felt also she can get some help from me. So one evening, she found out I was reading. This time around, she did not come throwing once. She told me, Mushiri, can you help me in this area? And I remember I took her papers, a pen, wrote the assignment for her, everything, and told her, now what I've written, go and write in your own handwriting. Present to the lecturer. If you fail, come back to me. And you know, the kind of marks she got.
And she passed.
And she got a mark she has never gotten.
Wow.
And then it became a habit, a routine that from time to time she would come to me and we started now spending good time with her. And because, as I said, I was not the kind of a person who was close to members of the opposite sex, and now there is one who is now getting close to me and spending a lot of time, then some chemistry started developing. And so that is how we met. Towards the end of our time in the college, when we completed college, I remember we completed in 1986. I went to serve in northern Kenya, Marsabit. I went to serve in her home area in Embu, and in 1987 we got married.
Wow.
So it did not take long.
Okay.
You see, that was me, that the woman I will get to love. I will not take advantage of her, but also I will be serious with her and bring her in marriage.
But you can take advantage of a situation like you did. Come and show you this one. And I will continue showing other things in life.
It's not whom you divided.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So you dated for a short period,
period.
There you are, boom, your wedding.
Your wedding. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was marriage life?
I want to say, honey, I enjoyed my time with my late wife. I have no regret. One thing, we had a lot of understanding together, a lot of compatibility. And then I remember when he got married, she joined me in northern Kenya. I was the pastor in charge, the vicar in charge of Marsabit. She served as my assistant, which was not normal in Anglican church, to find a wife assisting the husband. But that arrangement worked, and we loved it like that. Through the time when God is giving us our children, I want to say that the whole period, how do I describe it? The whole period of my marriage with my late wife was all a honeymoon experience. This does not mean it was all rosy all the time, because we are two human beings, two personalities, and so there are challenges that come out of our own weakness, and honey, you realize the mistakes that sometimes we do to one another just is an expression that though we are married, we are ordinarily human beings. And so we went through this as we brought up our children. There are challenges that comes with that. There are financial issues that will come around from time to time. Sometimes when we are not having enough money for what we needed, and so sometimes that becomes a challenge. Sometimes we're done different viewpoints, which is okay. And sometimes, however, it is in order to give an opinion and also take it. Sometimes the other's opinion may be too difficult for you to handle. So those kind of things will come on the way. But the good thing, those challenges, when they came in our life, God gave us grace. We find opportunities that came with them. And the other thing is that we did not allow them to get into us, to break us. Instead, those challenges came and they left us stronger, more united than ever before. And the ability to sit down and look at the challenge. You have longed me on this, I've longed you on that, and we are open to one another. Look at it and make the way forward. I found myself asking for forgiveness where I went where I went wrong. And I found her asking for forgiveness. The issues like I'm sorry, issues like thank you when you have done others good. These are things that accompanied us. And so, yes, I would describe it was good life, but also with the normal challenges, but God gave us grace to outmaneuver and mitigate the challenges that came around.
Wow, what good memories.
Yeah.
Now maybe you'd let us into what happened. How did she fall sick? What happened?
Honey, I would say, and the viewers, I'll let you know that my wife and I enjoyed a very long period of good health, prolonged period of good health. I would personally have been admitted in the hospital only once in my life. That is when the robbers came and attacked us and left us for the dead. That is when the first time my wife and I were admitted in the hospital. After that, we also enjoyed, because that incident was in 2007. It's when that incident that caused us to be admitted in the hospital. From that time, we experienced another very long period of good health. Her, myself, and even our children. We thank God. We thank God for that. Until severally she could have issues of stomach ache from time to time, and occasionally she found herself in the hospital and admitted. And this happened not many times, because by the time she left us, I think that this was the third time of her admission after a very long period. If you consider from 2007 to 2021 when she left us, it's quite a number of years, isn't it?
Sure.
It's quite a number of years. And so the third time she was admitted, the same problem of stomach ache, severe stomach ache, severe the heartburn, and she was admitted in the hospital, and I I had a very funny experience because when I took her to the hospital that day, that night, I don't know what happened is that for the first time I lost sleep. Normally, when I go to bed, God blesses me with sleep, I'll just sleep. But this day, I spent sleepless night. Then when I woke up in the morning, early in the morning, something very interesting happened. We lived in a church house at Sagana town in Kirinyaga County. That's where we lived. And so when I woke up that morning, between 5 and 6, steps because I wanted to make sure that by between 6 and 7, I'm in the hospital going to visit her, where she was admitted in a hospital in Kirinyaga County called Mount Kenya Hospital. And when I woke up, I went out to check on the car, how it is. When I was coming back, another very interesting thing happened. You remember I've said I lost sleep. Yes. Now, another very interesting happened, honey. And I was asking God, what is the meaning of all this? Are you preparing me for something? Because a stray dog came that morning. I'm saying between 5 and 6. A stray dog came, and I was in my pajamas because I was not prepared to step out. Is just check the vehicle, come back, prepare, and then go. And taking some things that I needed to take to her. And a stray dog came, and it was charging towards me. So I thought what I do is, when a dog is coming to beat you, if you kneel down like you're picking something, it will run away. But this one, instead of running away, it is charged on me, and I thought the best thing is I'm getting to the house quickly. But trying to get into the house quickly, I was on slippers. So I stripped and it fell. And then still the dog is coming. And I thought what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold it at the neck. And so I was prepared. When it comes out, just hold it at the neck and throw the thing back because it was a small dog. But this dog was very fast. The moment I'm trying to throw the hand like that, it bit me. This hand, and so I started calling her at the hospital. I'm coming to see you, but now I'm also bitten by the dog. Those two very interesting incidences that you don't really understand what they mean. And we went to the hospital. We had a very good time with her. And she was there for about a week. Towards the end of the week, the doctor thought she could be discharged. But by evening, we realized I think she was not improving in as much as we thought. So we thought she can be there over the weekend. And so I left her, and went back home. Then the normal visit of every day they continued. But the following Tuesday, then she was going to be discharged. And he did. She was discharged. We were very happy and went back home. Then I remember I told her, now, I think because now you are back home, tomorrow Wednesday I'll not go to work. I'll be here to watch over you. All our children were home. So and I told them we are going to be here to watch over mom. And that Wednesday, she spent a very good day. And in the evening, I told her, even tomorrow I'll be with you. She told me, no, there's no need. You can see I'm okay. you go to work. The following day, that's the morning. We woke up well, and I told her, I still feel I'd better be with you. But saying, why waste that day when you should be serving the church? Just go. And she was good. I also encourage our children who are working and those who are in school to go wherever you are now. And told her, leave your mom in your hands and in God's hands. It's okay. As you can see, it's okay. So I went, and the children also went. Those who are going to school went. That's the day now, and they left their mom in the safe hands of God and the assurance that Daddy is going to take care of their mom. I'm talking of that day now. And but by the time I came in the evening, I found her very sick. Asked her, could we go back to the hospital? She said there is no need because there is a resident doctor here in Sagana, a friend, and Dr. Fred of the family. His name is Mr. Moragori, and Mr. Moragori, I want to thank you so much for the care you took for my wife, my late wife, because so I've called him and he's coming. And Mr. Moragori came that evening. And I remember that the table room, the living room where we were, it's like it was converted to a nursing room in the hospital. Because the doctor came with his nurses, with all the drips in the house, and treated my late wife. And I could see now, she's now brightening again with all hope. And I remember the ones she said that he did. Dr. Moragori is a good doctor. Those are the compliments that she made. And they left and was to come and see us now tomorrow morning at 6. But then when he left, later at night, my late wife developed a lot of pain. I'm insisting we go to the hospital. She said, but the doctor is coming tomorrow morning at 6. To the extent that by between 5 and 6, to move from the bedroom, going to the washroom, and to carry her on my back. To the extent, by the time the doctor came at 6, from the bedroom to the table room, I had to carry her on my back. That's when we realized it's really getting painful on her. And she was breathing heavily. Heavy breathing. So the doctor said, now let's not treat her from the house. Let us take her to my hospital. So that because there are facilities that we can use and are not here. So we took her to the hospital, which was owned by that doctor, and doing the best he could, he told us, I think now this case need to go to the hospital, which has greater facilities, and he told us now the hospital we recommend is Ospan Hospital in Nyeri. Because other hospitals allowed here may give more or less the services I'm giving here, but that one now has facilities that can handle the magnitude of the situation we are having here. So I asked him, are you able to help us with an ambulance? He said, no, we don't have ambulance. And you know, when my wife is sick that way, I am also sick, isn't it? So I will not trust myself with driving. And I remember I called a driver whom I knew, my late wife being the pastor as he was. Many times when she wanted to drive some distances, she would call him to drive her. So I called him and I told him, are you around? He said, yes. So can you come very quickly? In a minute I'm there. So he came very fast. And so I gave him instructions. I want you to drive this car, take your mom to the hospital at Ospan, and you must go at a very high speed. But take care of oncoming vehicles. Take care when you are going up hills and down hills. Where you find you are getting blocked, please blow the horn so that you are given way just like the ambulance would do. And if it were possible, I want us to arrive Ospan from Sagana now to Nyeri. Those who know those distances, not more than 1 hour. Those were the instructions. And you must go at a very high speed. The next stop is Ospan. And I want to tell you, that driver is called Jero. And Jero, I thank you so much for the work you did on that day. He drove our car very fast. And what was paining me, because I know my wife had her own pain, but then what was paining me are the things she was saying as we go to the hospital. At some points she would say, I want to go to the washroom. Looking at her condition, how would you stop the car to take her to the washroom? So you tell her, please pass your urine just where you are, we don't mind. The doctor from Sagana had given us a nurse to go taking care of her as we drove. That's what we had that advantage. Then the other things you could say is, are we going to arrive at the hospital before I'm gone? Imagine what those words were meant to me. And mine was to encourage her, you are going to remain with us in Jesus' name. You are not going anywhere. And just hold on a little bit. My dear, just hold on. And we will be in the hospital. Please keep breathing on for me. I would not want to show her that I was crying, because it would even pain him even more, because my crying would make her think like now I've given up on her. So, and I remember now it is the nurse, my late wife, and the driver, and me. Nobody else in the car. And so then you, on the way, she would tell us, do you know now I cannot see? Imagine. Do you know now I'm not able to see. My eyesight is getting blurred. So you can see what that meant to us. But below 1 hour, we husband. We were able to overtake all the bureaucracy that are there before we treat you pay. The doctors there were very kind, and I want to thank the doctors as husband because they were so kind. They embarked on treatment quickly, even before I paid. And my late wife came out of the car we were driving on her feet, but then put on the stretcher into the outpatient before where they need to diagnose what is the problem before they embark on the treatment. And the last word I heard her say when at the outpatient is telling the doctors, kindly put me on some painkillers. I have a lot of pain. And they put her on a painkiller, and then it's like she didn't have a lot of pain, and told me now she is in safe hands. Go and be completing the payment as you do what we are doing here. So I went and did all the issues of the payment that were required and came back. So she was still on the stretcher, and I held her here at her head, and I could feel she's getting cold. I asked the doctor, have you noted why is he getting cold? They told me, she's okay, don't you worry. But then they opened their eyes, and they called her Joyce about 3 times. Then she turned around and said yes. No, not saying, but looked at them. Then they said something that made me realize like things are really bad. They said, they thought they're using a medical language that I may not understand. But they said the patient is getting decirculated. Decirculated. And they tried to put oxygen on her, and then they say, let's take her to the ICU. And the speed from the outpatient to the ICU was very high, because the line from the from the plane that's taking us up, from the plane to the ICU, very high speed. And I was chasing after them, but reaching the ICU entrance, I was told, here you cannot enter. So I was barred from entering. So she was put in there, and then I knew that like the worst I was avoiding is about to come. I went to my knees, I prayed. I cried, honey. Yeah. The hospital administration, realizing things were not very good, they called for a chaplain to come and be with me, and at least 2 chaplains came, and kept me in the office, and I could ask them, what is now the progress? They will tell me, don't you worry, the doctors are handling her. I saw like it is taking longer. I asked the chaplain, can you go and see? If I cannot enter there, I'm sure you can enter. Go and check for me. What is the progress? She came, this was a lady. She came and told me, don't you worry, Mchungaji, the doctors are still working on her. Then the male chaplain from the hospital also came, and kept talking to me, and the experiences that they have gone through in the hospital. Then I told him, I think now it's taking almost an hour, past an hour now, and I don't know what is happening. And then after a short while, I saw the doctors now who are handling my late wife at the outpatient. They came and they told me the chaplain told me, can you sit down? I was holding my phone and also my late wife's phone, and the doctors told the chaplain to hold the phone for me. Now you can now read, eh? Yeah. You can now read, and so they told me, your wife is very strong. She really did the best she could to live on. We also did the best we could, but her strength and our abilities would only go this far. So she has left us, and honey, that was the darkest moment in my life. Because my late wife, we came from the hospital on a Tuesday. Spend a Wednesday with her, she's very well. Now I was imagining she would just be treated and we come back, because I didn't think. Again, I had promised our children that their mother is safe in my hands. And then I was all alone, except the doctors and the chaplain and the driver, who after dropping us at the hospital went out there to wait for us. It was so dark for me. An experience that it's not possible to explain. The darkness where you don't know, it's like it is said that in Egypt, when during the Passover, the angel of death was passing. There was a night. There was darkness so heavy, like people could touch it. That's the kind of darkness I could see on that day. I couldn't see any life after that. If only I was allowed to drop myself and die and follow her, is what I would have done. It was all due money.
So,
My late wife, at this time, is when she had full of strength. The dreams she had for the family, the dreams she had for the church she was serving, were at a very high notch. And I didn't understand. Those are the questions I was asking myself. Because all through, I didn't think God would want to take her at a time like this. When she had a very high dream for the family and a very high dream for the church, I tell you, honey, the things she was telling me about the church, what she wanted to see accomplished, the things she was telling me about the family, the things she wanted to see accomplished, were so huge. And I thought God would be realistic enough not take her at a time she has the greatest dream of the ministry. And I couldn't understand that this could happen. And one thing I want to tell you, viewers, when you are taking a person close to you to the hospital, never go alone. Get some people, your friends, who can go with you. The mistake I did, that is that in my car, it was only myself, the nurse, and the driver, and my late wife. When the nurse dropped out of the hospital, she left to go back to work. So I was left with the driver. And the driver went, his work was only to drive us, isn't it? So it was me struggling with my pain, with people who were strangers to me, because the chaplain was a stranger to me, the doctors were strangers to me, isn't it? Always, when you go through that kind of experience, never you go alone. Get some people who can go with you, because you may not know when you may need them. And so, the people at the hospital, they asked me whether they want me to the body to be kept there. I said no, I'll go back with my wife. How do you go with him? Do you get the ambulance? No, I said, if I did not have the ambulance to bring her to the hospital, and I used my car, the same car will take her home to the morgue where I want her to go. They asked me, are you alone? I said, I have a driver. So it is you and the driver, and your wife who is already gone. They said, we cannot let you go with that way. So I called the church headquarters, and the person who came very quickly is our diocesan and administrative secretary, and a member, some of the clergy pastors were able to accompany him, and Venerable Canon Benson Thongororo, I want to thank you for acting so fast at a time like this. And so we were able now to carry her body in my car and to Mount Kenya Hospital, morgue, where now we kept the body, we preserved the body, awaiting for the funeral. Up there.
wow.
It wasn't easy, honey, because now after that, I was asking myself, I promised my children that their mom is safe in my hands. How am I going to face them and tell them, in the same hands I said she is safe, I was not able to take care of her enough. That is one thing that was very difficult for me. But all the same, I called them, however painful it was. Ministers were able to tell them that their mamas left us. And in a week's time, we did a heart rest. And Joyce, my beloved late wife, may your soul rest in eternal peace. And after that is now beginning a new chapter in your life.
Wow. I hear you say that you felt like you failed your children. Do you feel like there's anything that you would have done that you didn't do? Did you have any regrets?
You know, sometimes there are things that happen, and you say, if only I did this. Like that night when she was in a lot of pain, why you feel, why did I have to wait for the doctor until the following day at 6? Should I have taken her to the hospital? Like on this day when the doctor tells us to go to hospital, would it have been better if I took her to the hospital nearby? You know, some things that sometimes you start asking yourself, I wish I did. But then you come to ask yourself, now if you took her to the hospital and not the one that the doctor prescribed, and the same thing happens, and then you'll be blaming yourself for taking her to the wrong hospital. And also taking her at night and leave the doctor who is attending her at close range, and the same thing happened, would you be blaming yourself that you on the other hand waited for the doctor who was to come? So there are few things that I kept asking myself, trying to answer this, to answer myself. You ask yourself a question, and you're trying to answer yourself. You ask God a question, yet God is not a man that you sit with him and never sit. You know. Yes, but God knows that whatever it is I was able to do within my means and ability, I did.
Wow. Apart from you feeling that your children, you feel you failed them, do you feel like they felt like you failed?
To the contrary, is that I received a lot of support from all my children, and I want to thank you, Mary, Philip, and Tabitha, for studying with your dad at that very painful moment. When we felt all the loss, I felt it more than any one of you, because you felt the loss of your mom, but you can imagine I felt the loss of my wife, the flesh of my flesh. But then I want to thank you that you are able to study with me and study with one another, and allowed me to be your support even after your mom had left.
Wow, guys, I feel like I have questions I'm asking myself, but I feel like it's getting a bit high emotionally, so I don't think I want to keep asking you.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I don't think like I want to keep asking you questions. I feel like I would want to maybe edit there, because I think I would have asked you now how you handled the pain, how you handled the children, but I'm not sure that I want to ask that right
I can
now.
answer that.
Okay.
I know when you do an interview, when you're being interviewed by a person that you love, and I love you so much, honey, I know you are feeling with me what is going in me, but I want to say that that it was a long journey of 3 years before I met you, and to start with is where you feel you don't know whether to go left, right, forward, or backward. You are on the crossroad. I remember one clergy lady whom I spoke to who told me, even in this darkness where you don't know the way, God still knows the way. Somehow you find yourself somewhere. So I lived a day at a time, and I remember we had a meeting with my children. After about several weeks, we had a meeting, went out somewhere with them, and we came to the terms on what has happened to us, and we agreed now the best we can do is to accomplish what their mom would have wanted to accomplish. It's me to do and finish what she would have wanted to accomplish. And so we agreed, instead of sitting down here at the morning, let's get on it and accomplish very quickly what she would have wanted us to accomplish. And so so we got on to do, and every year we would meet and evaluate how far we have gone. I had a lot of support from the church family. There are people who really spent a lot of time with me, and so after 1 year, it's like the pain had reduced, not ending, had reduced, and I started feeling the real me now, the real me, because there is a time. I want to tell you, honey, before that I was not feeling myself. Siku anajisikia, you know, it's like I was numb. But after 1 year, I started now feeling myself. I could eat well, and those needs that every human being has, and I want to say that, and as the time went on, I could feel the vacuum that was left by my wife.
Because now the first year is you're still in dark.
Mm-hmm.
You still don't understand really what is this that has happened in your life.
Yes.
You, apart from the time you say if you are allowed to like throw yourself off maybe the roof, have you ever thought any other time like you want to hurt yourself, like you would think?
Oh yeah, honey. The first week before even we laid her to rest, I remember one night waking up in her bedroom where we slept together. And I was asking myself, those people who commit suicide, how do they hang themselves? But then I asked myself, but just a moment, what have I got? I hang myself, follow her, and our children. What about the work that she wanted done to accomplish?
Yes.
Is it not safer I live on, take care of these children, and accomplish the work that's wasn't completed? And don't I have a future myself? Am I going to take my life and deny me a future that God could be holding for me? Yes, those moments came, but the Holy Spirit of God convinced me otherwise.
Wow. Did you at any point feel bitter with God? Feel like God has failed you, like any man has failed you?
Yes, I felt bitter about God. However past I am, I thought God was very unfair. Why could He take my wife at a time when my children and I needed her most? At the time when she was full of dreams, that if she lived to accomplish them, I'm sure in her space, the church would be at a different level. In her space, the family would be in a different level. Why would God transgress us this way? Yes, I felt bitter and asked God questions that he's not man to be able to answer me. And I remember one person I talked to, this is Senator Naomi Wako, and I told her, I was asking her, where was God when my wife was going through this pain and dying? And she told me, Daddy, where Jesus was on the cross, where God was when Jesus was dying on the cross, is where He was also when your wife was dying. But those are things that you don't resonate with at the moment, but later they begin to make sense.
Wow. Now, there are many people who saw you when you shared your story of how you were feeling alone, horror, and lonely. And then I think the stories that I've read, the comments that I read were from women. I don't know whether there were many. If there were, I was not able to capture them. But many women were like, I wish I'm able to heal to that point. Because it's now, some would say it's now 3 years, it's now 4 years, one said it is 7 years since my husband left. I still feel that darkness in me. I still feel I cannot even move on with my life. Do you have any word for them?
One thing I would want to say, when you go through this kind of pain, because the pain of bereavement, being left by a wife, being left by a husband, being left by a parent, or by a child, or even by a friend, that pain, viewers, is so big. It is a traumatic, psychological, physical, emotional pain that comes, and when it confronts you, you have no otherwise other than to endure it. It is painful, but when it comes to you, there is no alternative. You have to go through it. You have to brave yourself and go through it. And what I want to tell you, viewers, when you go through this pain, never think, never contemplate to take your life. Because it does not help you dying like you are your beloved one who has died. Because the one who has gone has done his part of this life. You got a long way to live. So seek to live your full life. The one has gone. Because he or she has lived her full life. Hata wewe, seek to do your full life. Do it to the end. But doing it, there is pain. And you have to be brave enough to endure through that pain. That is one thing I want to tell you. The thing I want to tell viewers, the pain of bereavement is a pain that does not get cured completely. Even if you go for 10 years, even 20 years, even if you lived 100 years. My biological mom died in 1979. I still feel her pain up to today, from 1979. The only thing is that the impact of the pain has significantly reduced. The way I was in 2021, when my late wife left me, it's not what I am today. The pain that I had has significantly reduced. So if you are waiting to when your pain will clear completely, then you are going to wait to the end of your life. Because this is a pain that cannot go. By the way, the only therapy that reduces this pain, it is God, it is time, and patience. God, time, and at least being patient with yourself. That is only thing that will continue. The more you give yourself time, the more the pain continues to reduce. And so that is what I did. I gave myself time. So a month went, a year went, 2 years went, now going to 4 years, the pain is reducing. Viewers, you will never overcome the pain of bereavement, but it will reduce in course of time. The impact of the pain will reduce significantly as the time goes. So give yourself to God, and give yourself time. Give yourself time.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing with us your story, however painful it is.
Mm.
And I thank God because He has kept healing you. That's not how you were when I met you.
No.
I remember when we would go for those counseling sessions with Bishop, and a trigger would be so. And I thought that we normally say that talking is therapeutic. And I think, guys, I can tell you for sure it is true, because I think the more you keep telling about it. So I thank God for what He's doing in your life, and I also thank God for you, my followers, and I really pray for you, those who are commenting, and also those who are going through pain, because I also know some are going through pain, and we can only trust God and give it time. Impact will reduce, and we will smile
yet again.
And
And maybe as you conclude, because I want to really say that there are forces that has contributed to my fast healing. One is the church family. I got good friends from the church who stood with me. So viewers, when you find yourself going through this kind of experience, get some psychosocial support. It helps. The other one is support of my children. My 3 children, the grandchildren. Anytime they visited me and I could see all of them surrounding me with our grandchildren, they gave me the warmth. And at least I could feel some relief from the pain I was feeling. Viewers, the other force that has contributed to my healing is that sometimes last year I met a beautiful lady who met me when I felt hollow, lone, and lonely. And when I asked for her love and requested her to accept to feel the hollow, the lone and loneliness in me, she accepted. And this lady has become my therapy in as much as I've become her therapy. And this is none other than the lady I'm holding with my hands here.
For culture, guys, how many games? For culture, they're from?
Yeah.
For boy child?
5.
Why? Shall discuss that one later. For now, we thank God.
Yeah.
Keep subscribing, share our story.
Please.
You don't know who needs to hear that testimony,
Yes.
and will heal. So kindly, guys, as you share, as you watch, as you like, as you comment, please share and let others heal. For now, bye.